Okay, so this is technically my second video about the healthy relationship wheel, but it is the first one where I'm actually going to be talking about the spokes on the wheel. And I'm putting it in a whole separate playlist from my power and control wheel videos because I feel like it deserves its own space. And the things about a healthy relationship really deserve their own spotlight. So the first spoke I'm going to talk about is honesty and responsibility, which includes not making excuses for your partners or your own actions and admitting when you're wrong. Now, I'll be honest, my experience with this healthy relationships has been very uncomfortable because a lot of these things don't necessarily feel safe after you've been in an unhealthy relationship. It doesn't really feel safe to admit when I'm wrong, when I know that an unhealthy person would take that admission and use it to prove that I don't have an attachment to reality and that I'm always wrong and I'm always crazy and all of that. And then there's the confusion that a lot of people have surrounding an excuse versus a reason. Okay? And here's my experience around that. An excuse is something that you have no intention of even pretending you're going to try and change. A reason is something that you are trying to troubleshoot another way around so that it doesn't happen again. And you often can't really tell the difference between an excuse and a reason until it's been some time. Because again, an excuse is something you don't really have any intention of fixing, or that you think you have no power over fixing. So like my Soxy Loxy here is my excuse for not making sure that I get the wording exactly correct on the last two sentences in that spoke of the power and control wheel. She's not a reason because if she was, I would have done something to prevent her from snuggling up like this, or I'd be doing something to really try to wake her up. But look, she's my excuse. Yes, I was talking about you. But since those last two sentences were about keeping your word and not canceling plans, I think you can see how they fit into the rest of the spoke, because a lot of the excuses that people make are about why they're canceling their plans. I had to ask some clarification about those last two, by the way, because I think that canceling plans can sometimes be the healthy thing to do. I think it's about how you cancel plans, how often you cancel plans, and if there's one person that you always cancel plans with versus other people. I think part of what it boils down to is keeping your word. Did you give your word that you were going to do the thing? And then now you're making excuses for why your word isn't worth shit? An honest and healthy person is going to avoid giving their word for things that aren't important. Like, I'm never going to tell you that I'm definitely going to be there next week if I think there's any chance that I might not. Because there's a huge difference between canceling your plans and not making solid plans in the first place, right? I have kind of a sensitive spot about this because a long time ago, I decided that I was not going to agree to doing something if I thought there was any chance that I wouldn't be able to do it. And I've had a lot of people get angry at me because I don't commit to something when I can't be sure that I can follow through. But you know what I found out recently? Some of those same friends who used to get mad at me for not committing have learned to trust that when I do commit, I will move heaven and earth to follow through. It's all wrapped together, honesty and responsibility. If you take honest responsibility for your own actions and you troubleshoot your reasons and you don't give your word when you can't commit and you follow through when you have committed, it creates a sense of trustworthiness, and it makes it easier to trust you. And when you have someone in your life who won't, what can you trust them for?